The books and short stories we've read this year all show that the culture and society we live in shapes our decisions by providing a guideline for what is considered normal. One way that normality is established is through our surroundings. In The Tipping Point, Malcolm Gladwell discusses his idea of the power of context and that we are sensitive to the environment around us. For instance, on page 141, Gladwell writes, "If a window is broken and left unrepaired, people walking by will conclude that no one cares and no one is in charge. Soon, more windows will be broken, and the sense of anarchy will spread from the building to on the street which it faces, sending a signal that anything goes." This means that people's decisions are heavily reliant on their surroundings. If someone sees that multiple windows are broken, they are going to think it's okay and even normal to commit more crimes. This proves that normality is completely based off your surroundings. Another example of the power of context can be found in The Crucible. The Crucible took place during the time of McCarthyism. This meant that people were accusing each other without evidence and fear was spreading rapidly. It was very easy to spread rumors. For example, Abigail says, "I have been hurt, Mr. Danforth. I have seen my blood running out. I have been near to murdered every day because I'd done my duty pointing out the devil's people." Abigail was able to get away with accusing people of witchcraft without any evidence or proof. It was very easy for this to happen because of all the paranoia spreading during this time period. More and more people decided to accuse people of witchcraft because they were nervous and wanted to avoid being accused. The environment they were living in made it very normal to accuse people, even if they were perfectly innocent. Normality was established off the conditions they were living in. In addition, another way that normality is established is through tradition. In the lottery, the people had a tradition of drawing a person each year that would be killed by stones. This was considered normal for them, and it was simply routine. For example, Mr. Summers spoke frequently to the villagers about making a new box, but no one liked to accept even as much tradition as was represented by the black box. The village clearly took their traditions very seriously, even the small and unimportant ones. They didn't know the meaning behind their traditions, but since they were traditions, they decided not to question them. Even though the lottery was wrong, the fact that it was a tradition was able to make it normal. Another way that normality is established is through the government. In the book 1984, the government constantly monitored its people, and if you did anything they didn't like, you would be executed. For example, on page 3, you did live, from habit that became instinct, in the assumption that every sound you made was overheard, and except in darkness, every movement scrutinized. People were constantly watching their actions and decisions because they knew they were being watched. People would always do what the government wanted because they were afraid they would be caught and executed. This meant that whatever the government wanted became normal because the people would listen to it. In conclusion, our surroundings, traditions, and the government are all able to establish normality. This normality shapes our everyday decisions and has a huge impact on our lives.